What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Black. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 337. And we are going back to the Mega Man well with the sequel to what I consider to be not just the greatest Mega Man game of all time, but one of the greatest games of all time, Mega Man X2. I've said it before that one of my goals is to cover most of the classic Mega Mans on Remember the Game before the show inevitably collapses upon itself, and we're crossing another one off the list this week. If you happen to be new to the podcast, thank you for listening, by the way. I am a huge classic Mega Man fan. I started playing his games on the NES. I used to rent. I never owned one growing up, but I would rent them every chance I got. Thought they were fantastic, and I've been a diehard fan ever since. But I don't know the X series even a sliver as well as I know the OG Mega Mans, except for the first game. Mega Man X, I think, is one of the greatest video games ever made. I've played through it a trillion times. We've done 2 episodes about it. It's a gem. But I really don't know the series much past Mega Man X. We did do an episode on Mega Man X3, which wasn't horrible, but wasn't anywhere near as good as the first game, in my opinion. But for some weird reason, Mega Man X2 has just slipped under my radar all these years. I don't know why. Like, I've played it once or twice. I don't know if I've ever finished it until getting ready to do this episode. I've never taken a deep dive into it like I am now. And yeah, I have beaten it now. I'm done. And I gotta say, man, not quite as good as the original Mega Man X in my opinion, but very, very solid. Much better than Mega Man X3, plain and tall, and a worthy successor to one of the GOATs, like I said earlier. So I also found Mega Man X2 a lot harder than the original Mega Man X. Like, I don't know if it's just because I've played the OG Mega Man X so many times and I know what I'm doing, but X2 kicked my fucking ass for quite a while. If by chance you don't know, the Mega Man X games started on the Super Nintendo with Mega Man X. They are set in the same universe as the original Mega Man games that began on the NES, but they're about 100 years in the future. They're starring a different Mega Man X. The story is different. There's no Dr. Wily, but at the end of the day, the recipe is pretty similar. You're a blue robot with a gun on his arm trying to take down 8 evil robots, and every time you beat one, you get to take their weapon, and then you use their weapons to save the world. It's the same herbs and spices on a different bird. So I should throw this out here as well. Well, this episode is going live in the middle of June. I recorded it. I'm recording this on Sunday, May 25th. So it was a long time ago. Summer Game Fest has not happened when I'm recording this. I'm really praying to the waffle on my ceiling, shout out to anyone who gets that reference, that we get a new Mega Man game announcement somewhere at Summer Game Fest. That would make me so fucking happy. But if it did get announced, I don't know about it yet, okay? My guest this week is my boy Dan from the Dissect That Film podcast. He made his Remember the Game debut a few months ago to talk Mega Man 7. The guy loves the Blue Bomber as much as I do, so there was no way he wasn't coming back to cover this one. As I said, the original Mega Man X will always be my favorite X game, but X2 is Dan's creme de la creme of the series, and I really like it as well, so all the ingredients are there for a hell of an episode. We had a really good time. If anything, it'd at least be the best episode that a rambling fool like me can deliver, and we'll get to all that in just a few minutes, because speaking of being rambling fool, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. Dun, 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 dun! If you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. I consider this your warning. Our intros are a little long. They're not that long, but they are a little long. But they're fun. We talk video games and stuff, and getting past them doesn't require a classic, obnoxious to 1,000 character Mega Man password. So if you do want to skip the intro, or you just want Mega Man X2 talk, go to about the 30-minute mark. I'm getting pretty good at sliding them to about there. The ads pump it up a little bit, the ad break we have in here, but it's pretty close to about the 30-minute mark. Or if you just want to skip your ads, $3 a month on Patreon. Not only do you get new podcasts every week and access to like 1,000 old episodes, but you get every Remember the Game, old and new, ad-free with timestamps as well. It's $3. It's a cup of crappy Tim Hortons coffee. Beautiful. Let me get my plugs out of the way. It's how we keep the bills on. I already plugged the Patreon. We also have merchandise. So you can find it all at rememberthegamepodcast.com. I don't know where that came from. At rememberthegamepodcast.com. Shout out to my man Joe from 4545 Creative for designing that merchandise. And as I mentioned, our Patreon is our lifeblood. We publish 4 extra shows over there most weeks. They don't have any ads in them. You can listen to them for as little as $3 a month. You also get to write into the show, vote on the games we cover, join our Discord, which is over 1,000 people, and you get instant access to hundreds and hundreds of archive bonus podcasts. And most importantly, you get a shout out. Normally, this is where I would shout out all of our new patrons, but again, I'm recording this about a month early. So if you have signed up from at some point after May 28th, don't worry, I will shout you out on the next episode I record live or in real time. I promise. So thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. Patreon.com/Remember the Game. You can check it out for free right now and get a few episodes for free to see how it works. And if you sign up for a full year, you get your 12th month on the house. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Eldest Millennial, who said, "Hello, Mr. Blank. When playing the unofficial official game of Remember the Game, Slay the Spire," which, if you don't know, I'm not technically able to say they're our official game because we have no partnership with them. I just have turned a whole lot of you to the Church of Slay and will continue to do so. Play Slay the Spire. It's incredible. So Eldest Millennial said, when playing the unofficial official game of Remember the Game, do you ever get a boss relic choice and think, well, this run is ruined, but try your darndest anyways? Quick shout out to Zet out there doing things. Hashtag Zet things. Yeah, I'll shout out to Zet. The only time I really I'm not even going to get into the nuances. I'll just answer and move on, because if you've not played it by now, you probably don't care. But so for the boss relics, I'm assuming you're talking specifically about like when you beat one of the end of act bosses, not like in the middle of a level, and then it gives you 3 and you got to pick one. You know what I hate is when you get 3 options to have an extra energy at the start of every turn, but with a cost, and all the costs are like, oh, you could be confused. Oh, you can't fucking draw cards. Like, I haven't played Slay in a few months, but anytime you get that, I hate when there's not one that's like an acceptable punishment, because I love the extra energy every turn. But if the punishments are all too brutal, that can really fuck you right over. I don't care for that at all. Also, like, holding too many cards can be kind of annoying as well, but it's that extra energy with a bad penalty on it that really fucks you over, in my opinion. Johnny Two Legs said, if you could transform into a sentient version of a single video game weapon, tool, or accessory, which would you choose to be? So I had to Google this. So sentient means it's like not living, right? I Googled this a couple weeks ago when I put this question in the notes. Laugh at me if you must, but I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly. Sentient. Able to perceive or feel things. Okay, so I have to turn into a video game weapon, tool, or accessory where I can perceive and feel things. It's a weird fucking question. Because I don't want to be a weapon, because then I'm feeling everybody's like blood and guts on me. I don't really want to be a tool, because if like a hammer or something, I'm getting fucking beat up. Is it perverse to say Tifa's skirt? Is that? In 2025, am I going to get canceled for that? I'll say that. I'll say Tifa from Final Fantasy VII skirt. Because Tifa's my girl. And plus, then by association, I'm also an ass kicker like her. She's the best. Tifa's the fucking best. Fuck Aerith. Tifa's the best. Christ Scum said, hey, Adam, it's been discussed on the podcast, the movies based on games that completely suck, but we also need to discuss the great movies with horrible games, and I'm talking Predator. I'm choking on my own rage here. If you haven't seen it, please take a look at on YouTube. Also, I'm heavily into the horror / genre from the 80s. Please check out A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES. It's an amazing game. Take care, Adam, and keep up the amazing work. I get a lot of, thank you for writing in, Christ Scum. I get not a ton, but I do get regular requests to cover more of these old like licensed games, the old video like movie video games and stuff like that. The problem is that, as you may or may not know, I hardly have seen any movies. I don't watch movies hardly ever. So like I'm watching so many movies for the first time. That said, I have now seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street and the first Predator. So I kind of have forgotten to circle back on those now that I've seen the movies. Maybe in like October, I like to do a month of like horror / scary games. There's a voice crack. Scary games. So maybe in October, we'll take a couple like Nightmare on Elm Street and like Friday the 13th, like some of those like shitty NES ones, and do reviews on them. Because now that I need to know the source material to give the game a proper review. And I've seen those movies now. So now I can review them. Now I'm one of the cool kids. I get it. So yes, I haven't played any of them, but I will now. Mac Daddy said, Mr. Blank, it's June 17th as I write this. No, it isn't. Fuck. Oh, okay. I made these. Fuck. Here's the problem, okay? I tried to do like 6 podcasts in like a week. And so I made all the comments and set up all the comments and then forgot what I had posted in the comments. If I had just read this the way Mac Daddy wrote it, it would have worked just fine. I should have known. Mac Daddy's a reliable commentator, but I tried to fucking be the hero and messed it up. I'm going to read it as written here. Mac Daddy says, Mr. Blank, it's June 17th. June 17th as I write this, the day before the Megaman X2 episode. Can you believe the Switch 2 has already outsold the Wii U in less than 2 weeks? Those Silk Song and Last of Us Shadow drops really helped boost numbers. It's unfortunate that Mario Kart World is bricking consoles left and right, but I'm sure they'll patch that out before the OLED versions ship. I find that hilarious, and I do think the Silk Song Shadow Drop is a chance. I also think there's a chance that the Switch 2 outsells the Wii U in 2 weeks. But I'll tell you right now, we all know that I seem to have some kind of funky ability to will things into power by talking about them on the show. It's happened countless times. If I just willed Mario Kart World bricking Switch 2s left and right into the world, I'm going to be pissed. Because by the time when you're hearing this, I've just gotten home. I've been home for like 1 day and just finally fired up my Switch 2. And if it's bricking because of Mario Kart World, Mac Daddy, I will burn your home to the ground, Missy. Son of a bitch. That said, I do think it's possible this thing outsells the Wii U in 2 weeks. That maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Banjo the Bear said, I recently saw a video where 2 people draft teams with a captain, vice captain, tank, healer, and 2 support persons with Mario characters. Since they had to select characters out of random, the results were a bit wacky. But Hermano Blank, who would you pick for your Mario characters team? So I need a captain, vice captain, tank, healer, and 2 support persons. And you said Mario characters, not Nintendo. So I'm going to assume like Link and Samus and them are off the table. We're just going to Mario. Mario's got to be the captain, I think. I don't think there's no choice. He's got to be the captain. But I know what everyone's thinking. Luigi's got to be the vice captain. I disagree. I'm going to make Wario the vice captain because I think a true team needs voices from all the different aspects of life. And Mario and Luigi think too much the same. I think Wario being the vice captain, they could bury the hatchet and form a bit of an alliance between the evil Nintendo characters and the evil Mario characters and the good Marvel characters. And I think it'd be like Venom and Spider-Man. Like Mario is Spider-Man and Wario is Venom. And sometimes you just need a little bit of Venom. So Captain Mario, Vice Captain Wario, Bowser's your tank, of course. I know everyone's going to say Princess Peach for your healer, but I'm going to go Toad because he's got, he can just feed you, he can, take a bite of his head and heal up. So Toad's going to be your healer. And then for support persons, we're going to go with Princess Peach and Waluigi. Luigi's not even making the team. Luigi's turned heel and he's the villain in this game. Or he's fucking sleeping or something. So yeah, I like that. Luigi, I got much love for Luigi, but he doesn't bring a lot to the team. So Mario's the leader. Wario's his loyal sidekick. Bowser's a tough guy. Toad's a smart guy. And Princess Peach is a quiet religious guy who ends up going crazy. There you go. John C500 says, what would your dream Mario Kart mapper track be? I actually thought about this for quite a bit. And again, I haven't played Mario Kart World yet. Maybe it's in there. But you know what I was thinking would make an awesome track? One where you go through the NES. You're inside an NES. Or a Super Nintendo or whatever. But NES for me. You're in the NES and there's all these different 8-bit images of all the classic NES games on the sides, and you're driving around on the connector pins and on the maybe you there's a part where you go down the cord of the controller and then actually loop around on the controller and then come back, and the hatch where your game goes in is going up and down so you can't get caught by that, and you can make a ramp where the game gets lifted back up and that shoots you into the sky. Ripping through an NES I think would be a fucking awesome Mario Kart track. Wow, I hope it's in there. And finally, before we move on, it's letter time. The Angry New Yorker wrote in and said, a lot of people online are talking about an upcoming video game crash. Just curious, what do you think about this? Enjoy your trip, my man. Thank you, New Yorker. I hope I did. I don't think, because you're right, there's a ton of people saying the industry's got to crash, something's got to change, something crazy's got to happen. I don't think a full-blown video game crash is coming. When it crashed back in the 70s or the 80s or whatever the fuck, gaming was it was a niche thing compared to what it is now. I might be talking out of my ass because I haven't actually read a report that says this in the last couple of years, but for quite a long time, gaming was bigger than movies, music, TV, and I think it probably still is. Gaming is such a massive slice of the global economic pie now, at least as far as entertainment dollars go. And for it to crash, so many games that are in development right now at these studios with hundreds of millions of dollars behind them would all have to go tits up. The PS5 would have to dunk. The Switch 2 would have to dunk. PC gaming is massive. That has to dunk. Mobile gaming. I don't see an inevitable I don't think video gaming just straight up crashes ever again. I just don't see how that happens. I do think aspects of video games crash once again. That I could absolutely see. I do think online and live service games are already in the midst of a crash, and that's going to continue. I think that's absolutely a possibility. I think video game movies and TV shows were on their way to a crash because so many of them were bad, but I'm starting to wonder if they've pulled that plane out of the nosedive now. Maybe they're going to be okay. I just don't see it. I think there's going to be more of a shitstorm on the side of game development than it's going to be just gaming crashing altogether. With AI becoming such a big thing now and the sheer number of developers that are brought on, worked like fucking dogs to make these games and then just thrown into the trash over and over and over again, and now they're losing their jobs to AI left and right, I think something could give there. I'll hear the argument that the rising video game prices could cause a problem in the gaming industry, but I'm just not convinced. I think if gaming ever full blown crashes because games have gotten too expensive and consoles have gotten too expensive and stuff like that, I think the global economy is like, we have bigger problems than not being able to afford to buy Mario or Halo or whatever the fuck. So I don't see it. I think aspects of it, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I think a live service game reset maybe isn't a bad thing. I think loot packs probably should have reset and maybe been done away with a long fucking time ago. I don't think prices are going down, and I don't think anyone's going anywhere. I think PlayStation's got too big a stranglehold on gaming. They're not going anywhere. Unless the Switch 2 is a fucking flop or copies of Mario Kart World are blowing up or something like that. I think that they're far enough along now, and now they've got their amusement parks and all their movies and everything. I don't see that full-blown crashing. And Xbox, I could, like, if Xbox didn't have Microsoft's wallet behind it, I could see Xbox crashing. But there's just infinite money back there. They could keep Xbox going as long as they want to, just because of the amount of money that's backing it up. So no, I hear what people are saying, but I disagree. I don't think there's a video game crash upcoming. I think it's just gotten too big. This isn't fucking, Quiznos. Like, the video games are fucking massive. I don't see it. I don't see it. And I hope, frankly, sometimes I'm like, and if I'm ever proven wrong, then I'll fucking own it. But quite frankly, I hope I'm not proven wrong because I love video games and I don't want them to crash. How about fucking, what could crash instead? I'd say movies, but there's a few movies in the next couple of years I'm excited about. So not those. I don't really watch a lot of TV. TV can crash. And TV, that's fucking streaming services. Buddy, that's going to crash before gaming. Streaming services are going to, there's so much shit. Streaming services will crash before gaming does. Anyways, we got to keep the ball rolling. Thank you so much to everybody that wrote in as always. Let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get to that in just a minute. This week we're talking Mega Man X2, and there's only so many like Mega Man play one, remake one, erase ones I can do. So I just kept it simple this week. We've got Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, and Mega Man 4. All on the NES. 3 gems. And a whopping 45% of you said you'd play Mega Man 2, remake Mega Man 3, and erase Mega Man 4. I did figure that Mega Man 4 would get some heat. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I will tell you what the right answer was. Turtles Love Pizza said play Mega Man 4. Holding the button to charge the Mega Buster is second nature, like running in Super Mario. I'm not going to disagree, but I do prefer Mega Man without the Mega Buster. But you are right. It does feel natural. Agreed. Remake Mega Man 3 is a roguelike where you can ultimately unlock the Mega Buster to take down many different forms of the Robot Masters. Also throw in a seamless option of switching from 8 to 16-bit, between 8 and 16-bit graphics. And then erase Mega Man 2. It's the rules. It could have easily been swapped with Mega Man 3. There really are no wrong answers because I think erasing Mega Man 2, 3, or 4 is blasphemous. So there really aren't any wrong answers this week. The okayest of Muffins, I love that handle, says, I'm doing this solely based on the looks and names of the Robot Masters because gameplay-wise, I think they're pretty equal. Play Mega Man 2, easily the best-looking group of the bunch. Remake Mega Man 4. It's got some cool ones like Skull, Ring, and Pharaoh Man. Just need to replace Toad and Dustman. Toadman's okay. Dustman kind of sucks. Toadman's kind of cool, though. And then erase Mega Man 3. While there are awesome ones like Shadow, Magnet, Snake, and Gemini, what the fuck? Top and Hardman are bottom barrel Robot Masters. Fuck. somebody shit talking Mega Man 3 upsets me, but you are right. Top Man is a bitch. Easy fight, shitty weapon, horrible design. Top Man is a bottom. Top Man sucks. I agree with that. I like that. Count Deku said, play Mega Man 3. It has the gameplay, the bosses, and the music. Outside of X, few games can compare. Remake 2, it's only slightly lesser than 3. It has the best music, maybe outside of 1, and best bosses, but could use some technical improvements. So just remake it like Mega Man 3. And then erase Mega Man 4. I actually love this game, and it may be the best game of the 3 to play. The bosses and gameplay are great, but the platforming and music both slightly start falling off. It's not as lackluster as 5 and 6, but it's definitely lesser than 2 and 3. I wish I didn't need to delete it, but it deserves it more than the other two. I actually agree with that. I do agree with that. And Silver Archangel said, play Mega Man 4, as I haven't put much time into it and would love to give it a fair shake. Remake Mega Man 3, add an updated graphics option, be able to play through simultaneous stories with Proto Man. Add Mega Man 2 to the front end because it erased Mega Man 2. I'll chance the multiverse and erase this, not because it's bad, but because I've already added it to my remake of 3, and 3 is my favorite of the set. That's an interesting loophole. The game you're erasing, you're just adding to one of your other games. That's, I can't even get upset. That's like when a pro sports team figures out a way to hide fucking a bad contract in the minors or something. You found a loophole in the system, and I'm too lazy to close it. So well done. Banana Bread said, Toad Man, Pharaoh Man, Junk Man, there's so much there that needs to be remade. Play Mega Man 2 because it's great then and still is. Remake Mega Man 4 because it gets dumped on but has some great robot masters. Erase Mega Man 3 because we still have Mega Man 2. Obviously, this is not Mr. Blank's answer. No, I am not erasing Mega Man 3. Grow up. I'm actually going with a very small 9% of you voted the way I did in the right answer this week, as did Code E, who said, I'm going to play Mega Man 3 because Mario 3 and Ninja Turtles 3 were great. You can't go wrong with 3. I'm assuming you mean Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project, and not Turtles 3, Turtles in Time, the movie. If you're talking the movie, double secret. But if you're talking NES, then yes, I agree. I'm going to erase 2 and remake 4 because 4 is literally double the number of 2, and therefore 2 must be the worst in this lineup. I do enjoy the Scott Steiner math. That's solid. Same order for me. Different reasoning, but same order. I'm gonna play Mega Man 3 because I love it. I think it's the best. I'm gonna play Mega Man 3. I'm gonna remake Mega Man 4 and just make it better. Like, it's not terrible at all. I just prefer Mega Man without the Mega Buster. So I'm going to give you the option to turn off the Mega Buster. And I know you could argue just don't charge it. How the fuck do you play Mega Man and not charge the Mega Buster when the option's in front of you? So I'm just going to make it so I can turn it off, and then I'm not feeling the obligation to charge the Buster all the time. And then I'm going to erase Mega Man 2, which I know is sacrilegious, and I don't want to do it, but I still get all the Robot Masters and making appearances in 3, and I've played 2 so many times. I don't want to erase any of them, but 2 is the one I've played the most. So, and Metal Blade is pretty fucking OP, let's be honest. Man, it's so, Mega Man 2 is easy. I love that game, but it's an easy game. So I'm going to very reluctantly erase it and be mad at myself for making this the 3 options. Thank you, everybody, for playing along as always. Normally, I would tell you what I've been playing lately, but I have no idea. I'm away. I will tell you, while I'm away on holidays, my goal is to play Cyberpunk 2077 on my Steam Deck, Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown on my Steam Deck, and Hollow Knight on my Switch. Those are what and a little bit of Minecraft on my Switch. Those are what I've downloaded for the flights and stuff. Whether I actually played them or not, you'll have to wait till the next episode to find out. Here's what's going to happen. I need a drink of water, so we're going to pause here. We'll let a sponsor in to peddle their wares to keep my bills on. And when we get back, it is all Mega Man X2. Okay, we will be right back after this. All right, let's talk Mega Man X2. I know that's why you're here. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. And we had a lot of comments on this one. So I actually picked more than normal because I didn't spend any time talking about what I've been playing. So I could read a couple more comments. Let's just start bombing through these. Justin Combustion said, I always got my consoles as hand-me-downs from my older cousin when they got the latest generation, and this was the Mega Man they gave me with their old Super Nintendo. I still have both the game and console to this day. The strategy behind choosing the correct boss in the correct order was such a satisfying experience, and the graphics for this game are one of the standouts of the SNES library, in my opinion. Such a beauty. I will agree. Like, obviously, the boss order is one of the hottest things about Mega Man, but I will agree, this is one of the better-looking Super Nintendo games. I'll hear the argument this one looks better than Mega Man X, the original. I'll hear that. It doesn't. Yeah, it does. It does. The Robot Masters do anyways. The Mavericks. Sorry, the Mavericks. They do. David Phillips said, of the 3 Mega Mans on the SNES, this is my favorite. I love the extra optional bosses, giving replay value if you want to fight Zero later or not. The special recharge rooms give you lots of health pickups to fill the sub-tanks were a nice touch. You know, they were, but as I'm going to explain in our review, I had no fucking idea that's what those were. I finally had to Google, what are these fucking rooms that I keep going into where nothing is happening? And they were like, charge up your silk weapon and get a bunch of health. And I was like, I don't know if I ever would have figured that out on my own. I guess I probably would have eventually. Are anyone else like this? Like, if I had this as a kid, I probably would have just stood in there and tried every weapon and charged up every weapon, because what the fuck else do I have to do with my time? I'm a stupid kid. But now I'm like, why would I waste valuable seconds trying all my items and weapons in here when Google will tell me the answer? It's us. We're the problem. Kugda said, this is my favorite Mega Man, and it's the only one I've beaten to this day. And I know it's wrong, but I always start with Wheel Gator. That's where I started. After trying every other Robot Master and getting fed my own ass, that was the first one I could beat. I don't know how else you'd start this game. Wheel Gator's he's maybe the coolest looking Robot Master in the game, but he's a bitch. He's very easy to beat. Billy O Blueslink said, I love this game. I inherited my uncle's Super Nintendo when I was 2, and I remember being 3 or 4 and my uncles coming over for birthdays or Christmas or whatever and sitting me down and showing me how to play their old copy of Mega Man X. I loved it so much that after they finished it for me, they bought me my own copy of X2. They promised they'd help me beat it next time they were down for a holiday, and I beat it by myself in a week. I was so proud, I'd immediately called them to brag about what I'd done. Great memories. The real ending of this game with Zero was epic, and if you haven't at least seen a video of it online, I highly suggest doing so. Maybe this is a hot take, and the original X, of course, had a very special place in my heart, but I would venture to say this game is better simply because you get the ability to air dash, and of course shout out to the music, which as is natural for anything Mega Man, absolutely slaps. I will say, as we talk about the air dash in this game, like, as I think Mega Man X does everything that X2 does, just a little bit better, but X could use that air dash. That air dash is fucking god tier. Agreed. Carbon Fiber Zombie said, unpopular opinion, but I love and respect X2 more than the original X. I played Mega Man X more growing up because I found this too hard while renting it from Blockbuster. The levels and bosses were harder and more varied. The 3 hidden bosses to revive Zero, the collectibles and hidden Street Fighter move. I come back to X2 time and time again, and I let Mega Man X rest in his original box. Fair enough. Like, I think, like, it's so hard for me to even be unbiased comparing them because I have played X. I've probably beaten Mega Man X 100 times. So it's so hard for me to, like, it's absolutely worthy. Like, this is not, what's a good movie with a bad sequel? I don't want to say Ghostbusters, because I think Ghostbusters 2 is better than people give it credit for. I haven't even seen a lot of movies. Fuck. Okay, well, just imagine, I can't think of a movie where there's a bad fucking sequel. I'm like looking around my room. I guarantee you people are like yelling at their fucking phones right now. Like, oh my God, what are we talking about this movie? I can't think of one. Fuck. Oh God. I'm drawing a blank here. No pun intended. Anyways, this is not a bad sequel. This is a good sequel. So that's what I'm trying. That's the only point I'm fucking trying to make. God, I suck at my job. Samuel L. said, I love Mega Man X2. I played this game like some people played Super Mario World. Here's a confession of sorts. 30 years ago, my friends and little brother would gather around my Super Nintendo in the vain hope of firing up Mario or Donkey Kong, and I'd be a little bastard, hide the other ones, and force them to take turns playing X2 again instead. X2 took everything I enjoyed about X and built on it. It's my favorite of the series, and I think it has the best soundtrack outside of the OG 8-bit games. The gameplay is tight, the weapons are fun, the level and enemies are creative, the Mavericks are awesome, and this is still long before their themes and designs became a dumpster fire. Looking at you, X5. Mega Man X2 deserves way more credit than it received back then. It was done dirty by having to follow a masterpiece and coming at a time when most kids and reviewers were hyped for a bad 3D era. If I could criticize anything about X2, it would be the Sigma battle being too easy and a couple of jumps for hidden areas are a pain. Thanks for giving this game an episode. I'm stoked to hear your thoughts. I agree. The Sigma battles in this era are shit. I agree with that. We talk about that. The Zero fight, so much better than Sigma. We'll get into it. You know what? I've wasted enough time. Thank you for all your I could have read like a whole bunch more. I love that. I know I cover a lot of Mega Man on this show. This is episode 337, and we've probably done 15 episodes about Mega Man in those 337. But I love that there's a giant portion of this community is passionate about this franchise as I am. Mega Man's fucking awesome. Mega Man X2 is awesome. My buddy Dan is awesome. This music is awesome. Life is awesome. Enjoy the podcast. I'm going to cue up some X2 music. And when it stops, Dan and I are going to go back to January of 1995 and take a deep dive into Mega Man X2. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. All right, joining me via the blank phone on this beautiful Saturday morning is a beautiful guest, longtime friend of the show, and our new resident. I would say you have officially become the zero to my Mega Man X, because we were just talking off air. You love this franchise as much as me, and that warms my heart. It's my boy Dan from the That Film, the Dissect That Film podcast. Easy for me to fucking say. It's early. Dan, how are you, buddy? Jesus Christ.
I'm well, man. I'm feeling like you're really fluffing my nuts here, dude. Call me
Well,
an S-class hunter. I'm like, damn.
it was a nice intro, but then I did also fuck up the only plug I had to do in the whole fucking show. So it's a tit for tat. It's 10 a.m. here on a Saturday morning. I don't do podcasts at 10 a.m. often. But I'll make an exception for Mega Man X2. People have been asking me to cover this show or this game for so fucking long. And I got to be honest with you, dude. Like, I don't think I've ever finished this game until this playthrough, which is, frankly, I deserve double secret probation because this is the sequel to one of my favorites. And you said is this your favorite Mega Man?
100%.
Of X of all of them?
Okay. This is so like I differentiate very heavily, but yeah, this is my favorite X title.
Okay. Have you played? Now I'm asking as someone that, like, no judgment, because I've only ever played now the original 3. I hear that after X3, the waters get pretty murky, but I have yet to wade into them. How many of these have you played of the X games? Pardon me.
Okay, I have played all 8 of them, but I've only beat the first 6.
Okay.
Like 7 is like this glaring omission that I remember playing a long time ago that, like, once you want to talk about it will be my time of actually beating the game.
Sure.
And then 8 is one I've always heard good stuff, and then, like, it's just one of those I never got around to kind of thing.
Yeah. I even own, like, I've bought the Legacy collections and then still have not. I don't know why, because Mega Man, like the OG Mega Man series, I guess if by some fluke you're listening to this and you don't know what the difference is, the original Mega Man was like the 6 games on the NES, and then there was 7, 8, 9, 10, and now 11. Mega Man X started on the Super Nintendo. They're in the same universe, but they're like 100 some years later, and it's like a futuristic Mega Man, and he's like a more badass Mega Man, and basically the same idea: fight 8 robots, take their weapons, use them on each other. It's good times. The OG Mega Mans, I've played through the whole series multiple times, like all 11. I don't know what it is about, like, Mega Man X. I think I've played more than any Mega Man game ever, and then I just kind of stop, and I don't understand. I don't know what my problem is. Like, maybe I don't know. Maybe X2 walked in on me in the shower when I was a kid or something. I don't understand what it is, why I haven't moved on with this series. This one's very, very good. I'm impressed because, like, I'm all over the map. I've had a lot of coffee today.
Good dude.
Where are you on X3? Just quickly, because I liked but didn't love X3.
So the X series is kind of weird because, like, I was gonna say your reason I think is why you like X is because X peaks so fucking hard.
It's
because you have
great.
like literally the first game. It's just the best Mega Man X game. Period. It just is. And then, like, while X2 is my favorite, it's not the best one. But whatever. I still think X3 is good. I enjoy X3 quite a bit, and it's got some good music. But, like, once you hit 4, I think, like, it's like, start really strong, come down a little bit for 2, come down a little bit for 3, maybe go up a little bit for 4, because I think 4 is pretty good.
Okay.
I just think it's a pretty the voice acting is shit, but it's great. But then 5 and 6 are just like, it's a real decent drop for those two. Not that they're bad games, but
yeah. It's like, it's a little frustrating to me that, like, looking at them, like in the OG Mega Mans, we had 6 on the NES, and all 6 are very similar. Like, I mean, they made little tweaks here and there. Added the Mega Buster. In 6, you can wear Rush like a suit, which is fucking weird, but whatever. But it's like 6 Mega Man games. With the X games, I kind of wish they had just kept doing Mega Man X over and over. But I guess, like, they had so many new consoles, like, they were moving ahead with different systems, and the leaps in tech were so, like, I think that's why anything after the original trilogies never really appealed to me. And I think what scares me off, because, like, X3 I played years ago, and I didn't hate it, but it just felt like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just didn't feel right. Like, it felt like there was too many things hidden too far. It was too much time was spent searching for things I didn't really care. But it just seemed, it felt like it lost the script a little bit. Not terrible, but off. This one fell very in between the OGX and 3 to me, but more toward the OGX. Like, I don't think I like it quite as much as the first one. But to be honest with you, like, I don't even have to take off my shoes to count the number of games I like more than the first Mega Man X. I was impressed, though. Very worthy sequel. It was more of the same, which is all I wanted.
Well, I think what you were saying is true for the X franchise. Where Mega Man kind of, for especially for the first 6 games, or even a lot of them, they just kind of like stayed pretty steady. Like you'd get a few things here and there, but like
Yeah.
X, I think they tried too hard to just keep adding stuff.
Yeah.
And like once you hit
Exactly.
like I think 1 and 2, and then 3 they started getting a little heavier, and it was like the chips and shit like that. But then like 4, I think felt like kind of a good balance because you could play both characters for the whole game,
Sure.
X and Zero.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
5, they're just like really fucking try hard on like 5 and 6. And I was like, good lord, please stop. I mean,
Yeah.
not that they're bad, but
No, I get it. But the thing is, like, it's one thing if let's say X5 is your first Mega Man X game, then that's your bar. I understand that. But like for us diehards that did start with the first Mega Man X, and I agree with like I think Mega Man X is the best Mega Man game of any series, period. Like I just think it is the gold standard for Mega Man. For those of us that started with it, it's like I kind of just want to keep doing this. And that's what I did
right?
like about X2. It added a like I see why now that I've played through X2 to completion, I see why X3 had so many like hidden things and stuff like that because X2 had a little bit of that. And then they I just feel like maybe they went too far. I did like that they did it with X2. My only gripe with X2, and it's not even a big deal, is I didn't realize that if I didn't take on the 3 X hunters early, I lost the ability to just get Zero's suit back. I was just saving them for the end, and I was gonna get all my power ups, get all my health bar filled up, all that shit. Then I'll go take on. I beat one of them, and then I'll go find the other 2, and then I couldn't find them, and then I finally Googled it, and it was like, oh yeah, no, you run out of time if you don't get them soon. You lose it, and even that's not a huge gripe because the thing is Mega Man X2 is like a 4 or 5 hour game if you don't know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you probably beat it like an hour and a half. So
Yes.
yeah, right. So it's like if you do miss out on them, it's like you could beat this twice in a day. Just turn it back on and do it again and get the Zero parts. Like it's really not a huge deal. I wish I had known. Like as I didn't get them, and I would have had I known that I had to get them early.
That's
But
okay. You didn't miss nothing. It's
and
it's
that's
better to not get them.
and I looked that up because I was like, so what happens if I get all these parts? Like, can I play as Zero or something? And it was like, no, you just don't have to fight them at the end.
Yeah, it gives you like the true ending, but I like more often than not, I just don't get them because I like the fight with Zero.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a banging ass song and everything. I'm like, fuck
Quite
yeah, I want to fight him.
Yeah, not to skip ahead, but quite frankly, so like, yeah, if you've never played this one, there's these 3 X hunters, Agile, Surgis, and Violin. I assume that's how you pronounce it. And
Correct.
they basically have Zero's parts. And for like the most, it's probably not even an accurate comparison. Zero, for very much lack of better comparison, is the Proto Man of the X series. The
He
red
literally
guy,
is.
he is like, I don't think they're technically brothers, but like, he's cooler. He's fucking got a sword instead of a shield. He's red. Like he is the Proto Man of Mega Man X. And so you fight these 3 guys, these 3 extra robots. You get Zero's parts back because he's been kidnapped by them. And if you don't fight them, then you just have to fight Zero near the end. And I agree with you. I actually found the Zero fight better than either of the Sigma fights.
Correct.
Right? It's not just me. I actually was disappointed in the Sigma fights.
Yeah, like the first, gosh, the Zero fight. Just I feel like it's there's like a lot of quick like movements you have to do, and it just feels so good. Like if you could do that fight pretty smooth, it just feels great.
It feels epic.
It does.
Like as he's shooting these giant blasts at you, and you're blasting right back, and your blasts are going through his blast, and there's so much blasting.
Yep.
And it feels so epic. And then you get to Sigma, and he's like, I'm just gonna run around like I did in the first game, and then you fight a giant floating head.
Yeah, he uses the same attacks. He don't not quite, because he uses in the first game he has the lightning too, as well, and he uses lightning again in this one. I was like, dude,
I was stoked to see him back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I'd never finished this game, so I assumed that he would, he's the Wily of X. I assumed he'd be back, but I didn't know for sure. So it was great that he was back, but I really did. I was like, yeah. And then when I looked up afterwards and found out that like if I had gone and got the Zero parts, I would have missed the Zero fight. I was like, I'd rather fight Zero. That was a great fight. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, that's the end of the game. First, you got to fight the 8 Mavericks, I still feel weird not calling them Robot Masters.
Correct.
Like, even though I know they're the Mavericks, like I just feel so weird calling them that. And I gotta say, like, I'm quite impressed. Like, again, I am so partial to Mega Man X and how much I love the Robot Masters from that one. But I have to say, I don't think there's a dud in the 8 designs in this one either.
Nope,
I think they all
not at
look
all.
cool. Like,
nope. Yeah, they look great.
Yeah. And what's rad about it is being a Mega Man junkie like you are, one of my favorite things about the X series and Mega Man 7 on the Super Nintendo is what a difference you see. Like obviously it's better graphics throughout the game, but I don't know if the graphics ever jump off the screen at you quite like they do with the Robot Masters. Like in the OG ones, it's so hard to make them look like Gutsman is supposed to be this massive robot, and he just doesn't seem that much bigger than Mega Man. Whereas when you
Yeah.
play X, some of these robot masters seem fucking huge. And
Oh
they're
yeah.
so colorful, you know, like did I lose you?
No, I'm
Oh,
still
there we
here.
are.
No,
Sorry. I
oh,
lost you.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry. I took
I
a
was
sip of
letting
my
you
coffee.
finish.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
no,
done.
sorry.
Please. I'm
Sorry,
done.
dude. I'm so used to having a visual cue for people. Since there's
Sure.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
no, it's all good. No, I agree 100%. I love the designs. They're really, and we talked about this when we covered 7, and I'm not discrediting. I think 7 has a lot better animations for a lot of their like characters, like because they feel like cartoons. But
They do.
I still love these. Like one of my favorites is Wire Sponge. I just like him with his little whip, like he spins it around and shit like that. He
Yeah.
just looks good, and he gets all pissed halfway through the fight, and it starts
That's
raining
the
lightning and shit.
That's the best part, and that's one of the coolest things, at least the first couple X games do, are like sometimes the robot will like when you think back to the first one, if you hit I haven't played the first one now in a little while. Fuck. Who is it you hit with? We hit with the spark and they get like electrocuted and their armor comes. Oh, Armored
Armored
Armadillo.
Armadillo.
And
Yeah.
like his armor comes off. And in this one, yeah, like you're fighting Wire Sponge, who's this weird looking plant robot that can like swing his arms like vines, and he's pretty rad looking to begin with. But then, yeah, once you get about 2/3 of the way down his health, like you can't hurt him for a minute, and he like starts overheating and glows red and gets all fucking pissed off, and that's fucking sick. Or like the moth. When the moth is
Morph
still
Moth.
just like
Yeah.
hanging off of the roof, like on the web, if you hit them with the fire, they like burn up. Like those
Yep.
little things. It's just those little details to these guys. They look so big and animated and detailed, and they're just I really, and the fact that they're not just like Rockman. Well, Rockman is Mega Man. That's a stupid example. Like that's a stupid example of all the there's like 200 robot masters and I picked Mega Man. But there's like
Stone Man.
like Snake Man. Well, Snake Man's a bad example too because he does look fucking pretty badass. But the point is like all the old robot masters are just like something man. And I like that in the X game they're like animals with like funky powers. And even like, may I ask, who do you start with?
Oh, see, fuck. I usually do Wheelgator first.
Okay, that's who buddy, I gotta say, not to get sidetracked, this game is a lot harder. We'll come back to that. I found this one a lot harder than X. But I started with Crystal Snail because
so good.
On paper, I'm like, it's a fucking like when I play Mega Man X, I start with Chill Penguin. I gotta be honest, I'm not trying to body shame the Robot Masters, but there's usually one chunkier, shorter one, and I'm like, that's the guy. That's where I'm starting. That one's easy. And
or one's clearly got mobility issues, like that guy. He's got a weight problem. I'm going
absolutely.
after him.
And I was like, he's a fucking snail. Like, what's he gonna do? And he kicked the shit out of me. He kicked the shit out of me. And I actually avoided the crocodile for a while because I was like, well, look at that guy, Wheelgator. I'm like, he's a fucking angry, spike covered robot crocodile. And then he ended up being the first one that I beat as well. But he's the most intimidating one.
I want to point this out though. Like, I know we'll talk about this later. I'll bring it up, but dude, like Crystal Snail's stage music is such a fucking banger, dude.
Yeah. It's like everything about like there's no way not to compare it to X when you're reviewing X2. It really did just feel like it's such a dumb thing to say because it was as fucking a sequel, but like it really did feel like this. Like it felt like just more Mega Man X. I honestly think the only reason I like Mega Man X better than X2 is nostalgia is a hell of a drug. And I've been playing Mega Man X since I was like 10 or 11 years old. And I've been playing this one for a week. So like, I'm just not as connected, but it really does everything just as well. I agree. Like the music's great. The Robot Masters. So like, yeah. So Wheelgator's where I started as well. And I like that fight. I don't quite understand. Is it supposed to be like, it looks like you're fighting him in blood. I assume it's like mud or something. I'm not really sure.
I assumed it was oil.
Oh, that makes sense. It's like a dark red-brown liquid.
Yeah, the biggest letdown is he doesn't start it on fire.
Agreed. And
I thought that was going to happen.
And I gotta say too, of the 8 robot masters in this one, I'm gonna keep calling them. I know they're Mavericks. I don't care. I'm calling them robot masters.
Yeah, of course.
I did find his fight to be the tamest. Like,
His is just good.
no, that it's just you just wall climb to the corner and avoid the blade, and then stay up there so he can't get you in his jaws, and that's it.
Yeah, it's the only thing is with his weakness when you eventually use it. If I usually just have the Buster, of course, like we said, but
Mhm.
it's very time consuming because he
When
keeps
you hit him
dipping
with
under
the
the
chain.
oil.
Yeah.
Because that's like
Ah.
even with the Buster, he'll do that. But like that's my biggest gripe with that is it's very time consuming. But again, like slightly different angle. Of course, I've played this a shit ton, but
Mhm.
like he's not really hard. Like he's pretty telegraphed for what he's gonna do.
Yeah, and maybe I just missed it, but outside of adding a second blade when he attacks you, he doesn't like most of the other I found a lot of the other robot masters like at some point would kind of get I hate this term. They would get like triggered, like they'd lose their shit and then their attacks would kind of get better.
Yeah, it's like a
Uh
desperation move.
yeah, and I didn't really find
So
that he did. He just kind of was like, whatever.
they
Like it's
lean more.
just
Oh,
yeah.
good.
No, that's it. I just found him easy, frankly.
They lean more into that into 3.
Yeah.
3 very clearly has more of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying though, because he kind of like flashes and you like shoot into his mouth,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it does stuff and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and it was funny because like again, I play these games. I did end up having to look up something which we'll get to when we talk about the difficulty, but
Uh-oh.
I never look up robot order ever because I'm
Yeah,
like that's
fair.
to me. I think to most traditionalists, I think you would agree. Like one of the sweetest feelings in gaming is going into Robot Masters blind and first finding one that you can beat with just your Buster, and
Yep.
then when you realize you've got another Robot Masters weakness, it is the most empowering feeling in the
Yep.
whole world.
I've
Ah,
bested you.
yeah, you're like, I'm the captain now. Like you're
Yeah,
done.
yes.
And I literally started it at Crystal Snail. And then I fucking went up all the way. So he's in the bottom right on the stage select screen. So I start with Crystal Snail, and this crocodile's right beside him. And I'm like, well, that crocodile looks like or alligator or whatever. He looks like a bad motherfucker. So then I went up all the way across the top, back down to the bottom left, over. He was the last of the 8 that I picked, and the first one that I could beat.
Don't you
And I
love that
just-
shit?
And I was just, and I like, I'll be honest, after about the 5th one, I almost beat Mammoth with just the Buster or a Moth. Pardon me. I almost beat the Moth,
Yes.
but I didn't.
That's a fun fight, dude.
It is a fun fight.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck, do I look up where to start? And I'm like, no. One of the things about this job I've learned is that like I do sometimes have to review games on a little bit of a schedule. Like I need to get them done by a certain amount of time. And it can almost take away from a game a bit when you're getting impatient because you're like, come on, I need to get some momentum here. We got to get going. But I was like, I refuse to go against my Mega Man heritage. I am not looking up how to beat these things. And when I finally, I got to tell you, buddy, when I picked Gator, I'm like, if this guy fucking beats me too, I don't know what to do because I haven't beaten anybody. Maybe I suck, but then it turned out he was a bitch, and then it was slowly off to the races. So
Yeah, dude. I actually don't even do it in like the proper order. I don't even do it by boss weakness. I literally will do Gator, and then I'll either go get the boots from Ostrich or go get the armor from Moth. It's usually the armor from Moth.
oh
And
yeah,
then once I have the boots and the armor, then I just start boss weakness for everybody.
and like I know we're hopping all over the map here, but I don't. That's what
Sorry.
you do in Mega Man. You fucking
Sorry.
you pick one thing at a time and you tackle it. I did love that they brought the hidden capsules back, like the 4 capsules.
Yes.
The only complaint I have about those is the first one I found was the helmet that tells you where secrets are.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, I found that thing to be an incredible nuisance to use because it was so slow once you like, and I would accidentally, because I love using my L and R triggers to go through my weapons.
Yeah.
But I hate that was set to one of my L and R triggers because it was right. I can't remember if it was one of like, it was right at the bottom of your weapons list. So
Yep.
if you hit like L, I think, even if you had every weapon, the first thing it would bring up was that radar you shoot out of your helmet to find secrets. And so I'm just like trying to find attacks to like get through areas. So I hit the L trigger, go to my first weapon, hit attack, and then all it does is shoots out that fucking radar. And then I'm stuck there with my dick in my hand, waiting for that radar to get off the screen so I can switch to a different weapon. And I do feel like some of the secrets in this game, I felt like they were less about go exploring and more about use the helmet to like. There's the one where you need to dig down in the stage with the blade. I never in a million years would have found that without that helmet, ever.
I don't remember how I even figured it out.
Yeah, and I there was no way I was finding it without that fucking helmet, but I hated having to like kind of pause the action to bring up the helmet.
Yeah,
And like it was
that's
boring.
fair.
Like if that makes sense. Like I'd rather just climb walls and slide down holes and try to find it myself.
You know the helmet has a second use, right?
No, what's the other
I didn't.
use?
I didn't even know this either, and I played this game a billion times. Apparently, it reduces the cost of your weapons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had no fucking clue. It didn't tell you. I was like,
No,
all
it
right.
didn't. Fuck. Like it looked cool. Like it looks
yeah, it looks
rad.
sweet.
But like, cause that's one of the other things about X is like you got to get all the power ups because X is cool looking when he's blue. He's much cooler looking when he's white. Like when he's got all of his armor on, he looks fucking rad.
Fucking America colored.
Yeah,
Like,
he is. He really is.
He's
Fucking blue and then
100%
white and
like-
red. He really is. So yeah, I was stoked to see those chambers come back with Dr. Light throwing power-ups at you. I did find the helmet kind of useless. I gotta say,
Yeah.
huge fan of the air dash.
Oh
Huge
God,
fan.
so good.
Oh my God. Like, if you've not played it, you can literally do Mega Man's dash when you're in the fucking air. And that is a game changer. Holy
And you start
Jesus.
with a dash. The ground dash. You start with it.
You start with it, yeah. And then
Yeah.
to get the ability to do it up in the sky, fuck off. Forget about it.
No, it's so good, dude.
Now the only thing too, though, I'll ask you this. I was playing it on my Switch, but with my Super Nintendo controller. And it's the same thing with Mega Man X. So it's not a criticism, but like the dash is set to A. So you use like Y as your blaster and B is jump, and that's perfect because you can always hold Y and then just roll your thumb down to hit the B to jump, and then like go a Y when you want to shoot. But when you're trying to keep a saved up shot while doing the dash and maybe jumping, I don't know how you do it, but I actually bring my index finger off the shoulder and kind of squeeze it down in on the front of the paddle to hit the A. And I just find it very like I can't hold shoot while I slide otherwise. And I always like to have a shot charged up. And then I just like, I don't know. I just, maybe it's just me. I just suck. Is that like, do you change your controls? Cause I don't change the controls or anything.
Listen. Here's how I do. I do the same way you do. I refer to it as the claw grip. So I bring my finger up and I've got that little extra digit on the A. I've actually started holding my charge less often because I used to do it all the time. And I have seen people do it with the R button, change the key button to the R button. But if you do that, you're a bitch. So
yeah,
fucking claw grip that shit.
Yeah, I claw grip it. Plus, I like having L and R for my weapons. Like I like
same dude. Like
that way.
I don't want to just have to tap L the whole time to get to or whatever key you switch to just to cycle through my weapons. I want to go both directions.
Me too. The one thing that bugs me about the dash, and X does this as well. I have multiple deaths in this playthrough and in X where if you double tap left or right on the D-pad, you'll dash. And I don't mean to. And I'll be standing on like a skinny platform fighting enemies and accidentally dash off and like, for fuck's, buddy, that fucking the first level of like the end castles. I don't know what you call them in these ones, but like
it's in the English version, it's the X Hunter base, and the Japanese, it's the Counter Hunter base.
Okay. I can't remember if it's in the first one or the second one, but there's like a couple of parts where you're basically on like these skinny platforms and you're surrounded by spikes and there's those fucking dragonfly robots flying around you. And twice in there, I fucking accidentally double tapped left or right and dashed off and just landed on the spikes. And Shaylee could hear me downstairs. And I rarely rage at Mega Man, but I was like, fuck, that's like, why would I dash there? That's not what I'm trying. Like, I wish it would give you the option to turn off that double tap because I just can't imagine anyone wanting to use that. Fuck.
Well, I know there's some freaks, weirdos even, that do the double tap dash, but I actually wonder if it's because since you're using it on the Switch and you've got a fancy like a new controller, and I'm using like a vintage SNES controller, I wonder if I don't have as much slop because I don't usually have that issue.
Maybe, yeah.
So
Maybe
I wonder if it's because it's kind of wore out a little bit. So you have to like really double tap to get it to go.
Sure, yeah. Which would be good.
So.
I wish that fuck that fucking double tap. Maybe fucking crazy. But that air dash is that is god tier.
Clutch.
And then I gotta say, like, you get the armor, which limits the damage you take, which is always awesome. Especially in a game as tough as this one is. But then it's got this ability where you like absorb projectiles and then can explode. I never used that once.
I do it at least once while I'm playing the best place to do it, the only correct place. I don't know if it's true. There's probably an actual correct spot to use it, but I'm going to skip around a little bit. Bubble crab stage.
Yeah.
Where the big coelacanth fish thing, submarine comes out of the wall.
Yeah.
Just do it there. It'll instantly kill it.
Oh, I
Because
honestly
it
just kind of
one-shots
forgot
it.
I had it. Like I just kind of forgot about it. Like I was using it just for the armor defense, but a cool
Yeah.
concept. I just totally forget. It's like, remember I think it's Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy where you get Tango the cat
Yeah.
and you can call Tango in and it'll fuck everything up. It's one of those things like I always just forget I have it. And then at
Yeah.
the end I'm like, "Oh yeah, I could have used that." That actually probably would have come in pretty handy a couple of times.
Yeah, or like Rush Search in Mega Man 7.
Yes,
I don't know.
which I
That's just me.
yeah, no, that's the same as that fucking helmet radar where I was like, I don't feel like dealing with this.
It is. I will say that I do love the armor. I love the Giga Crush screen wipe, but it's like my favorite useless ability in a Mega Man game because it doesn't do shit against bosses. Most
Yeah.
bosses. Like it does work on some mid-stage bosses. As long as they don't have like iframes,
Right.
it'll
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
nuke them pretty quick. So
And like and the thing is like, well, I really want to get more to the difficulty after I talk about this blaster, but I found a majority of my deaths weren't from taking damage outside of against the masters. It was spikes. Spikes
Yep.
are those
Yep.
fucking walls that stupid robot pulls into each other.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
yes. Especially in the last stages. Oh,
oh.
dude, they're a bitch, dude.
But shout out to whoever the developer was that in the first of those final stages, you have to go through these 2 or 3 segments where you need to wall climb as fast as you can because there's this robot with 2 claws on either side pulling the walls together to crush you. And shout out to whoever the developer was that decided to put a 1-up right before those
Yep.
segments in both. Because I must have died in there a dozen times. And
Yeah,
that fuck.
your spawn point isn't far from there either.
No. So shout out to whoever was like, you know what? We know this is going to kill you until you realize where you need to jump. We'll throw you a bone. Like that was very forgiving for a Mega Man game.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
forgiving. So then the final, we'll talk about the last power up, then we'll break, and then we'll get into the Robot Masters and everything else. The last power up is the blaster, which is always awesome. I'm a huge fan of being able to power up the Robot Master weapons and basically getting an extra set of weapons. Maybe a bit of a hot take because I know people online were talking about how much they loved it. I didn't love the double shot.
Really?
I couldn't get. It just felt like I loved it when if I was fighting a boss and I had the double shot ready to go, and then like the classic move of you go through the door, the Robot Master comes down, their health bar fills up, you have a super shot saved up, you just let go of the shoot button, and as soon as the fight starts, you let them have it.
Yeah.
In situations like that, S tier, fucking spectacular. But when I was just going through the level as someone that constantly has their Mega Buster charged up, I never quite got used to the feeling of letting go of my big shot and then having him just kind of do that extra like stop for a second shot. Like it looked cool, but I just always kind of threw my rhythm off just a touch, if that makes sense.
No, I get, especially when you're used to like, traditional ones where you get just the one. I always
Yeah.
like using it because like you could, like you said, you charge it and you drop your first shot to tank somebody, and then you could that second one would just stay there forever until you pulled the trigger again.
Yeah, and I
Like, you
I
could just
love the
hold it.
concept. Yeah,
Yeah.
it never quite felt natural, like smooth to me.
Don't
But
worry, they fuck it up in 3, so it's fine.
yeah. But it even looks cool, like the way he blasts the first one and then just like punches forward with the other one and you send this huge fucking shot out. Like, looks rad. And then
Hey, listen. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, what were you saying?
On the subject of busters for the next couple games, I think 2 is my favorite, as I said, because I just love the wham wham. Like you get that real quick, like double hit in,
Yeah,
and that second shot does a shit ton of damage.
yeah, it
And
does.
they, like I said, they fuck it up in 3. So if anybody loves that, I'm sorry, but like I hate that buster so much because it's when you shoot the little balls and you shoot your other one and they mix together and it makes the one really big shot. And Mega Man X4 actually has 2 separate Mega Busters.
Oh,
Yeah, you have one that fires a fucking gigantic shot, like one huge shot, and then you have one that works like this, but it holds 4 shots.
oh,
You store 4, and it pops up below your life. It's like ding 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 ding. It's
that's
pretty
kind of
cool.
rad.
So I prefer that one over the huge one.
Now I will
So,
say,
that's
like,
just me.
yeah, like as a traditionalist, I'm the same way with the OG Mega Mans. Like I like 2 and 3 the best because I prefer Mega Man without the Mega Buster. Like I'll
That's
use the
fair.
Mega Buster, but I'm a fan of the pea shooter, That
Lemons.
said, I'm a huge fan of being able to charge up one of my favorite things to do. I didn't get the blaster in this one until I had 6 or 7 robot abilities. And so like
Yep.
as soon as I went to a level, I was like, fuck yeah, let's see what we can do with some of these. Because it's so rad being able to see what the Robot Master weapons will do charged up. And
Do you have a favorite one?
probably the flame one because it was almost like an extra
Yes.
dash.
Yes. So mine's a big toss up. I like For like damage wise, I like Ostrich's charge where it shoots up and it rains down.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, but it's got to be Flame Stag's weapon. Just that extra
Yeah.
flame dash and just the shot itself is cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like if you've not done it, like when you so when you charge up the flame weapon in this game with your upgraded Buster, you actually turn into like a fireball and shoot through the sky. So you can like wall jump, do your air dash, then use that to do a second air dash. Which I got to tell you, to get a couple of the things in this game, I had to rely on because I couldn't find any other way up to get them. So that one was
True
pretty
facts.
rad. I liked that crystal snails like would slow everything down as well, but I didn't use it as often as I thought I would.
Oh, dude, you don't need Crystal Snail's weapon. This game's got plenty of slowdown.
Yeah. yeah, you're not kidding.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But it's always rad being able to charge up because it basically just gives you an extra set. Oh, I also thought it was this was what I had to look up. I could not find, what is it? What do you get in the crabs? I think that's where you get one of the sub tanks. And I could not I only found one of the sub tanks at first. And then I was just going through the levels over and over. I had all 8 weapons and I'm like, somewhere in these fucking levels are these sub tanks. And then I found a couple more. I could not figure out how to get the one, like the radar thing is telling me there's something above me. I could not figure out how to get up there. So I did finally look it up. And they were like, oh, if you use the bubble crab weapon and charge it up, you can jump super high in the water. Yep. And which I probably should have realized. It's a brilliant thing, but it never clicked with me that I could have done that.
Yeah,
so
yeah. They do something similar in Megaman X3. It's almost identical situation, but you have to use Blizzard Buffalo's ice shield charged underwater, and because there's water, it makes it larger and then it floats.
Right. It's a cool idea, but it's one of those things that I'm just like, how does anyone find this?
Like, no, that's true. So here's something I'm trying to figure out. I want to talk about this. The E-tank you're talking about, the energy tank. How did you get it? Like, you use the bubble to get to the top, but the bubbles won't take you out of the water.
No.
How did you get it?
The only reason I was able to get it was because when I looked up where it was, it said, once you get up there, keep hitting jump and you'll be able to jump on the water. Otherwise, even if I'd realized the bubbles would take me up, I still don't think I would have realized how to jump up to that tank.
Exactly. And I'm trying to figure out how I figured this out when I was a kid, because I did figure that out. And I think it was just, I'm almost positive. I didn't look at, because, whatever. I didn't have no Game Informers.
Yeah.
I just jumped on the water and realized, oh, you can jump on the surface of the water.
Sure.
You can't do it in the first one. You could do it in the second and third.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh,
go ahead.
Just keep mash and jump. Yeah. Like that's all you would have had to do. But that was what, and then the other thing that I looked up was I found rooms where there was nothing in them, but the radar would tell me there's something there. And I couldn't, and so like, I didn't even need them. I just was like, I want to know what these are before I start going into the Robot Master levels. And so I looked it up and they were like, oh yeah, if you use the charged up silk weapon, you'll pull in a whole bunch of energy from nowhere. And which was cool. It was a nice handy little space to go refill up your sub tanks between levels and stuff. But I just, for the life of me, I could not figure out what I was supposed to do in these rooms. And I felt like I had tried everything. And I guess I just should have thought to charge my weapons in there like a dummy.
Well, the only way I remember figuring out was when I was a kid is because if you shoot silk shot in those rooms, nothing happens.
Yeah. You need
if you don't charge it, just shoot it, just nothing happens.
Yeah, but then when it's so cool, it actually really is a cool idea. There's like 2 or 3 of them hidden in the game. And if you go in there with the silk weapon and charge it up, instead of like pulling in a bunch of weapons to like, a bunch of garbage to like throw at enemies, you'll like suck up a bunch of energy will just appear. And it's enough to fill a sub tank, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's great. So handy. And it doesn't use your weapon energy either.
No, it's fire. So that was really handy. Okay, we're already at 35 minutes. Let's let a sponsor in here so I can keep the bills on. And when we get back, we still have so much to talk about. You guys know it's Mega Man. Mega Man's the best. We'll be right back. Okay, so we talked about the 4 power-ups. We'll go back to the bosses and just see if there's anything else you want to mention there. But I did want to just quickly pivot to something I have written in my notes. Maybe it's just because I haven't played this one nearly as much as I've played the OG, but like, there is a pretty substantial difficulty spike from Mega Man X to X2. Is it just me? Like this one kicked my ass.
I'm going to assume it's going to be down to like nostalgia and just muscle memory, because where you've played the first one a lot, I've also played this one a lot, so this was not a hard game for me. I can just blow through it. Like I
Oh,
said,
okay.
I think I beat it in like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
I've died. I'm not just saying. I
Sure,
died a
sure,
handful of times. It was at the end. But that was what the same thing happened to me when I played Mega Man 11. That game whooped my fucking ass.
11's
the first time
tough,
I played
man.
it.
11's,
It is.
11's got a learning curve because you need to learn how to use those 2 extra like gears, and until you get a feel for
Yep.
them, that game destroys you, man. Yeah,
Yeah, and but like once you get it though, it's not that bad. But that's what it felt like. It's like I think it's just like learning. Even though it's a similar game, it's like you have to learn all the boss shit and whatever all over again.
I suppose I just because like, and I'm not complaining. Frankly, like if I have a criticism of Mega Man X, and it hurts me to even say those words, it's that I find it too easy. Like I find it very simple. Whereas this
Yes.
one, like, and again, it wasn't. I very rarely died at the hands of like enemies in the levels, but I had a lot of spike deaths and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then the robot, like, I don't remember ever playing a Mega Man game where I needed to run the gauntlet before I finally found one I could just beat. And admittedly, you know, if I had found a sub tank earlier, most of them I would have been able to beat with one refill and my Mega Buster. But some of them were just fucking destroying me. And I was just kind of, frankly, a little, like, it seemed like a harder game. The only thing I didn't find hard was a lot of people were telling me, because at the end, in those end levels, you need to refight the Agile, Sergis, and Violin, the 3 Zero stealers. And I had people be like, man, those are and I actually found all 3 of them incredibly easy. And I didn't fight them in the base game because I didn't go to them because I was not going after them. But I didn't find them hard in the final world. But the robot masters themselves just fucking massacred me on my first way through.
The one I warned you, but I think I sent you a text when you're like, we messaged before. And I think I said just the only one that I always had an issue with is Violin. And it's fine as long as you have E-tanks, but he just hits so fucking hard. Even if you got the armor, if that ball hits you, it fucks you up.
Yeah, it does. I think I just kind of got lucky. It almost was like, because that's the fight where he's kind of, those blocks are like appearing, right? And he's going up on the blocks and he's got
it's really random.
Yeah, and I think I just got a lucky draw. Like I took about half his health bar off in one, like he just didn't touch me.
Did you touch him with the bubbles?
Yeah, so I think I just got lucky.
Yeah.
You know who actually gave me trouble a little bit was whichever one of them was in the almost big Wily like machine, and you had to like go on those floating platforms and shoot the 4
Sergis.
Yeah, that guy. That burned 2 E-tanks for me to get through him. That one gave me a little bit of trouble.
You know a little trick? I'm gonna tell you a trick here. Very far left platforms to going up and down.
Yeah.
Stand right in the middle of them, where you got one foot on one on the other, and just use charge shots.
Oh, is that and he won't touch you?
Well, he'll still hit you, but use charge shots of Ostrich's move.
Mm-hmm.
This is after you blow the front of it off,
Mm-hmm.
and every time the ones from the sky will hit him.
Is that right?
Stand right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I fought him with the magnet mine because you could. I didn't realize it until later in the game that I could aim that metal blade style.
You could move it.
And once I realized that I could like hold down and shoot it at an angle, I was like, "Oh, where have you been all my life? Like this is metal blade 2.0. This is fire." But yeah, I found it to be a much more difficult game. I will shout it out to very forgiving that between levels, in the end, like when you get to like the final, when you're going through the base, there's like 4 or 5 levels, and between each level, it takes you back to the 8 masters, and you can go into Bubble Crab's level, grab an extra life, and go and fill up all your tanks in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm glad it does not take you back.
Yeah,
it sounds like some old Mega Man bullshit. Like, if you don't go back to the Wily stage, you start the fuck over. Like, whoa, dude, chill out.
Yeah. I'll ask you this, just a sidebar. What do you prefer? The classic E-tanks where you can carry like 9 and you just stockpile them, and then when you need one, you use it? Or the refillable ones where you've got 4 and you have to go and find additional health to fill them up?
It's really tough because most of the games, I end up having an ass ton of E-tanks at the end of Mega Man.
Me
usually.
too.
So like, or especially the newer ones where you could buy them.
Oh,
I mean,
fuck.
I was just they're always kind of separate in my mind. It's just like, okay, this is just how Mega Man X works. I kind of like how you have to find them in Mega Man X. Like, you have to work for them a little bit harder. They're not just like, oh, enemy drops it, like probability or whatever.
Me too.
I guess I guess it's whatever. I'll take either one. It's flavor to taste, I suppose.
Yeah. I like the Mega Man X ones because, like you said, you got to work for them. I like that you actually have to fill them too.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it a little bit more difficult there. The one thing that irritated me, and maybe I just didn't click the button like I thought I did, but I could swear in Mega Man X, if you had a tank that was like 20% full, you could use it and get a little bit of health back.
Yeah.
And I don't, unless I just maybe hit the wrong button. I tried once to use a half-filled E-tank in this one and it didn't do anything. But maybe I just hit the wrong button. But
You may, because I did it on my playthrough during the Sigma fight. I'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah, maybe I'm just an old fool then.
Yeah, it happens, dude.
So just getting back to the Robot Masters quick to kind of wrap up. The standouts to me were I thought the moth was very cool because for like 2/3 of the fight you're fighting that like larva hanging off the ceiling, and then eventually it like gets up in the air, and then that actual fucking moth comes down. And I gotta say, man, I found the difficulty of that fight increased 20 times over once that fucking moth came down. When it was just floating there, it didn't touch me. But that fucking moth sprinkling its little fairy dust on you, that thing will fuck you up. But I thought that was a cool fight. And I loved Overdrive Ostrich because I loved seeing him run around in the background and then dive up to the front. And I thought that was a cool fight too.
There's some cool dynamics to him, but I would agree with you. I like Morph Moth a lot. I like if you can get him to last long enough and he does the thing where he pulls garbage in and it goes in that loop around the screen.
Yeah, me too.
Where you could it's just all movement tech. It's really fun. I like his fight. I like Overdrive Ostrich is fun. And then I just love, what's his name? Fucking Flame Stag. He's not like anything complicated, but I just like fighting him.
I really don't think there's I'll hear an argument that Chill Penguin in Mega Man X, like, look, I got love for the Penguin, but he's kind of a dud. Like he's a bitch. That's who I always start with. I really didn't feel like there was a dud among these 8. I thought the snail was gonna be, and then the snail fed me my ass. So until I could not beat that fucking snail until I got its weakness and could knock it out of its fucking shell. I could not beat it. I was getting so mad because I was like, he doesn't even have that many attacks. He doesn't seem that fucking hard. You know what I'm gonna do on my holidays? I'm gonna do a second playthrough of this now that I know it better and see if it's maybe all it was I hadn't played it before. Like maybe on a second run I'll be like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
Hey, if you could tech him right, what you do is you toss one on the wall behind you and you shoot a bomb at him and it'll hit him, knock him out of his shell, and knock him into the one on the wall.
Yeah.
Go for the wombo combo.
Yeah, it was, and that was one thing I'll say too is like, you know what? There's always the segment where you fight the 8 masters again right before the end boss, and I found once I had all 8 of their weaknesses and they'd been beating on me for a couple hours, like I cakewalked through that.
God, yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of any Mega Man game. I know some people complain about that boss rush near the end, but I'm like, at this point, you know all 8 of their weaknesses. This is sweet revenge. Like go in there and just massacre all 8 of them. This is the funnest part of the game for my money.
Also, we didn't talk about this, but when you kill Wire Sponge with his weakness, did you get the special animation?
I don't remember.
Okay, so if you kill Wire Sponge with any weapon, even if you use his weakness charged up, it won't do it. If you kill him with ostriches and you hit him, it'll, instead of him just exploding, he'll get cut in half. It'll like that slow motion, he'll start drifting apart and then it'll explode.
Oh, maybe I just didn't notice it. That's pretty rad, though.
Next time, if you do your other playthrough, when you're fighting him, remember, just don't use the charged on the final hit. Just use the standard cutter, whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay. Because that doesn't sound familiar, so I bet you I did do the charged one.
Yeah, he's the only one I think that has a special animation like that.
I'll have to look that up. That's rad. They're really, I will say Bubble Crab is, I guess, kind of lame, but
he's kind of lame.
It's hard. Like, how many, outside of Splash Woman, it's been a long time since they had like a cool water boss, because they're all just going to be some kind of fish or something, and they're kind of just whatever. Splash Woman was rad though.
Yeah, Splash Woman's dope, and I absolutely adore Bubble Crab's stage music.
Me too.
It's so fucking
good. Let's go there. The music.
Please.
Again, one time through the game compared to, I have played Mega Man X so many times, it's almost like a CD that I used to listen to in high school. Yep. Like, I know those songs so well. I will say, by and large, I didn't like this music quite as much as a couple of the iconic X tunes, but there are still some banging tunes in this fucking game. For myself, it was some of the music that played in those final levels was like, it felt like I was it literally felt like I was saving the fucking world. Like, it was, it was fucking, like, Mega Man's known for their soundtracks, and X2 doesn't disappoint. I just need to listen to the music more, I think. But Bubble Crab stood out to you, eh?
No, well, okay. So for me, it's pretty much I like all the music. Like X has got a better soundtrack, minutely, in my opinion. I think X is just it's like I said, X is just more of the original, more refined. Every stage music is good, and pretty much all the Sigma themes are good except for like two.
Yeah.
But for this one, the only stage musics which I don't hate, but I think they're the weakest is Morph Moth and Overdrive Ostrich. And they're not bad, but like Bubble Crab's awesome. They actually use Bubble Crab's theme again in another Mega Man X game.
Is that right, eh?
Like, oh yeah, Mega Man X5.
I can't
Just
even fathom the pressure that like the pressure that must come with being a composer in a Mega Man game. Because they're
oh
so
god.
well known for those soundtracks. And
Yep.
like
Yeah.
there's how do you keep coming up with bangers? Like it's got to be impossible. Like I don't know how.
I don't know. And this one is actually one I can't pick a favorite from because I love, like I said, Bubble Crowd stage. I love Flame Stag. Like, dude, there's some bitchin' ass metal covers of his music because it's just fucking so hard to begin with. The first final stage, Counter Hunter stage, the opening theme, the opening intro stage, which we didn't talk about, but the only thing important is Rip Green guy in the background.
Yep.
Fucker gets shot on his bike. Poor dude. But yeah, I love pretty much all the music from the game except for those two stage musics are okay. And then I love the first and the final X Hunter stage because that is the final one is just the opening theme again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. Those two tracks are the two that most hit the mark for me. Like they were all good. Like there's not a single level in this game where I was turning the music down.
oh fuck.
Like it's and that's like, man, it's just we get the occasional person that'll write into the show and be like, "Hey, I know you love Mega Man. Just saying, man, I've tried. I can't get into them." And like, never gonna offend me. I don't care. I've shit on some of the most popular games in the history of video games on this show and lost listeners and fucking people have told me to go fuck myself. Like, it's fine. Like what you like, it's totally fine. But as a Mega Man fan, when people are like, "What do you like about these games?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, what is it? Like, what don't I like? Like, they look great. I love tough 2D games, which these are. I love the freedom of being able to choose the order you want to go in. I love seeing each robot master. Like the robot masters, I know that they're Mega Man games, but the like the Mavericks, the robot masters, they really are the stars of these games.
Yeah.
Like when I think back to like my favorite Mega Man games, a lot of it comes down to like how much do I like the cast of the robot masters in that game, and even the music. Like it's just crazy. It just seems like I don't know. It seems like such a minute thing to me. It just feels like make your game fun and then make your game look cool, make your game have replayability. Like, I know not everyone will agree with me, but if I'm designing a video game, like if I'm awarding stat points to a video game, the last category I'm pumping stat points into personally is its soundtrack. Because while a good soundtrack is nice, if a game is fun, I can turn the game down and play it.
Yeah.
And it
Absolutely.
really just feels like they just pumped so many stat points into soundtracks in the Mega Man games, and they're among some of the best in the history of the industry. They're so good. Like you can listen to them on their own and they're fucking bangers. It's wild. I don't know.
I agree, dude.
I love it.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna toot that horn, and I'm all about it.
Yeah. I also got to say too, man, one thing I like about the X games, admittedly having only played a couple, is I like that there's a little bit more of a story. Like, I suppose if you want to criticize the original Mega Man games, the criticism is that like, oh, it's literally a fraction of a step ahead of Mario. Oh, Wily's back again. 8 more robots. Wily's back again. Yep. Oh, it's Dr. Oh no, it's Dr. Wily again. Like it's always Dr. Wily. And always. I like that, like in Mega Man X, the original, like you take down Sigma and the Mavericks. And now I like that this one picks up with that little cutscene to start out being like Mavericks. There's still a few of them now. Like X is out trying to take down the last of these these Mavericks. And then it turns out they've got Zero's parts and then Sigma's back at the end. Like it feels like there's a little bit of a story to them.
Yeah, and I like how like Sigma constantly recurring kind of has a little bit more of it as opposed to Wily just somehow constantly getting out of jail, but I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like again, I'm not playing these games for the fucking stories. Like I'm playing the same as Mario. Like I'm playing it because it's fun. But I do like that they're at least trying to put some kind of a story into it.
I do. There is some notes on it. I never really looked into this game like heavily, even though as much as I love it. Some things I didn't know that they changed between the English version and the Japanese.
Because I'm
Is
sorry,
the
because
little
you posted a picture. Did you play the Japanese one?
Yeah, I have Japanese cards for
That's
all 3 X
hardcore.
games.
I love it.
Well,
When you
they're also
posted that, I was like,
cheaper.
that's sick.
They're also cheaper, but
Oh yeah.
the game's in fucking English.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much everything's in English.
That's
It don't fucking
wild.
matter. Yeah.
This is
So,
one of those ones that I'd love to buy a physical cartridge of, but I'm like, I don't like. I own Mega Man X as a cartridge, but X2 it's fucking like I'm looking right now, $170 Canadian for a loose cartridge.
what about a Japanese one?
I don't know how to see that on here.
Rockman X2?
It's not coming up here. All I've got is the PAL version. That's just like the British version, right?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's Rockman. Maybe it's under Rock.
Yeah, it'd be Rockman X2. It's like
Rockman
$30.
X2. I'm just bringing it up now. $170.
Yeah.
I can't listen, I don't mind spending a little money on a retro game, but I'm like, how do I drop $170 on a game that I have on a collection? Yeah,
Here's
the Rockman
$20,
X2,
$30.
$20 Canadian.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a
Ah.
deal, dude. It's a fucking song.
You're not fucking kidding. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm
so
sorry. Continue your notes.
No,
please.
what I was going to say. So one thing I didn't know is, the short little fucker that's in like the Wily machine
Yeah.
in the castle?
Yeah.
He has some connection to Dr. Wily. I didn't know that.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then, so at the very final stage, when you go to fight, we'll get to it, before you fight Sigma, right? Where you're actually going to fight Sigma.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, this is just Magna Centipede stage.
Yes.
There's
dude,
actually...
Yes.
Go ahead.
No. I just when that happened to me, I like genuinely had to like pause the game for. I paused and I went and clicked. You know how you can go to the exit thing, and if you've beaten a level, you can click exit and just leave.
Yeah.
I paused and went and clicked exit because I assumed that maybe I had accidentally clicked like the wrong stage instead of like going to the final stage of the game, and then it wouldn't let me exit, and I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, that threw me right off because I was like, I guess I'm right. It's the exact same fucking stage to start. That even right up to like the same placement of the enemies and everything. That fucked me up hard. That was
Dude, I was like, I always thought, I was like, dude, these lazy ass cock nobblers, they're just fucking doing using the stage over because they don't want to make a new one. But
Yeah.
apparently in the Japanese one, there's a line of dialogue where Sigma says, X, meet me at the central computer, which is Magna Centipede stage. That's why when you click on it, it automatically takes you there.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's how it's supposed. And I didn't know that. I thought they were just being lazy.
I thought that as well. I thought that really fucked with my head. I was like, what in the shit is like, and like
Me too.
with a single line of dialogue, that goes from what in the fuck is this to like, that's pretty awesome. And even if it was still lazy, even if they were like against the deadline and they're like, well, we don't have time to make the last level. Well, then I don't know, put a dialogue line in there saying to meet us in an old level and we'll just reuse that one again. Like, that would have been like, you went from lazy to awesome in 2 seconds.
Yep.
But that I totally forgot about that. I was genuinely like, because I'll put my cards on the table. I had a couple of beers while I was playing, and I was like, did I pick the wrong level? What the fuck is this? I've done this like 10 fucking times because I had to keep coming back to that fucking level so that I could get up to where that fucking heart tank is, where you need to grab that stupid security bot before it falls.
Yep.
And I had to go in there 100 times to get up there. Fuck. Anyway, good call. I forgot all about that. You sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. So you beat the 8 masters. I do like the idea that you see where those 3 rebels with the 0 parts drop into 3 levels. Because out of the gate, because again, it took me a long time to beat a fucking master in this game. I kept finding the alternative boss doors in the levels and none of them would open. And I was wondering what they were for. Because again, I was trying not to spoil anything for myself. And then I love that once you beat 2, I think it's 2 masters or Mavericks, then those 3 show up and then they're like, we have Zero's parts and they're, come and get them. And then you can go find them. I just have a complaint that, like I said, I didn't know that I had a limited amount of time to go get them, but that's neither here nor there. I really like that. That's about as, I gotta be honest. I like my Mega Man games linear. I just want to like play the game and be done. That's the extent of the like extra stuff I want in one. Is just like that. That was perfect for me. Even though I didn't do it. It was still a cool concept.
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the real thing with the robot, the guys, to my knowledge, I could be wrong with the counter hunters, is if you beat the stage they're in without fighting them, they go away. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, you might be right because I didn't. Like I said, I beat the heavy one with the wrecking ball. I never fought the other
Yep,
two until the end levels. But that was because I wanted to go and get all my heart tanks and get my sub tanks, and then I was like, now I'll come back and fuck them up.
absolutely.
Uh, and like I don't know, it's not even like it's really not even worth the criticism. Other than I was like, I wish he'd warn me because I would have gone and had I known that I had to fight them before I finished, I would have gone and fought them. I just didn't know I had to. That's all.
That's right. So you
So
got more playthroughs for.
that's right. And I'm definitely doing at least one more. I gotta say too, and like these are all just such minor nitpicks. I'm a little disappointed there's not more to it. And nothing other than you just don't fight Zero or you do. And from what
Yeah.
I read online, the text exchange between you and Sigma doesn't even change. But I don't know if that's true or not. So you fight Zero, which is I agree with you, maybe the best fight in the game.
God, that music's so good.
It's so good, and it just feels. I don't know how to explain it, like because he's only got a couple of attacks. Like he shoots those blasters, and then he does that ground pound thing where the rocks come up. It's really not. I didn't find it to be an easy fight, but I didn't find it to be like a notoriously difficult fight. It felt like a very fair fight. Like it felt very
Yeah, it's
evenly
quick,
matched,
though.
and we beat the shit out of each other. You know?
Yeah, it's a very quick fight. Like, I mean, you're jumping around all over the fucking place, and he's running around all over the place. It feels good.
Yeah, it does. And then after you beat him, he comes over and he's like, X is like, yo, do you remember me? And Zero's like, I don't know why the fuck I'm here. Whatever, go get him. And then he just makes that hole in the ground and you just drop down and go fight Sigma. And then I gotta say, when I went down to fight Sigma, I had like a quarter of a health bar left and I didn't want to burn an E-tank. So I went with the classic strategy of like, I'll just let him kill me and then I'll come in with a full health and then I'll use my sub tanks and beat him. And then it turned out that if you don't beat him, then you have to fight Zero again. And so then what ended up happening was then I had to fight Zero down a sub tank that I had used during the Zero fight. And so then I burned another one fighting Zero again. And I was like, well, fuck, I screwed up because now I got to go fight Sigma with only 2 sub tanks. And then I only needed 1 to beat him because he really wasn't that hard.
No, he's not.
Like, and he's not hard in X1 either. I actually find him incredible. Fighting his pet there is harder in X1 than he is.
Yep.
And in this one, I found Zero tougher than Sigma. I did, especially his second form, the robot head, because like it was so weird. He doesn't even have a health bar on the side of the screen. You just keep shooting him.
Yep, till he changes color.
Yeah, and like near the end of the fight, he's literally just hovering on top of you, and you just mash shoot until he dies.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like turns the game into Contra.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a weak. I don't know. I love the idea that he's back. I liked fighting him the first time. I thought fighting the like holographic version of his fucking face was. I thought it was kind of a weak second boss. That's all. I would have rather just fought another version of Sigma than his
right.
Stupid
No, I agree.
head.
Somebody's like, dude, I played Star Fox. Let's do that shit.
Yeah, and they do that a couple of times because there's that mini boss with the floating sword.
Yep.
Although I actually thought that was I liked that fight.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I like that.
It's actually the same spot you fight Sigma.
It is. Holy shit, you're right. It is because it's in the same level, and it's the level that makes you think you picked the wrong fucking level. Son of a bitch.
Yep.
I think I got everything I wanted to get out of my system. I've gotten out. Is there anything left?
Two things I want to mention,
Sure.
or a couple things. Most of my deaths were at the end. Did you get the secret Street Fighter move in this game?
I did not because I didn't know it was there until after I beat it, and then I looked up the rest of the secrets.
So that's where most of my. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'll get it on my next one because I want to get it for sure.
Yes, I will tell you the. I mean, obviously you know where it is by looking it up. The path to get there is where a majority of my deaths were.
Oh, is that right?
It's just because of how you have to do it. Because it's a corridor of spikes, a small drop down of spikes, and a corridor going back the same direction very quickly. So you have to air dash, go down, have a charged flame stag going back to the left, and not hit any spikes.
Oof.
It's doable.
Sure.
It's tight, but it's doable. But once you get it, you get the Shoryuken, the flaming uppercut. Yeah. So, dude, literally, you get that. You're at Surgis, not Surgis, Agile, whatever. The guy on the top of the screen, you just flaming uppercut, one shot him.
Oh.
So it's literally my fight at the very end. Is I didn't use Zero's weakness. I don't know if you didn't know, it's fire.
No, I didn't. I just blasted him.
So yeah, I did just use the Buster because the thing with the fire is you shoot the 2 coal things, but there's those small trickles of fire that run across the ground.
Yeah,
those go underneath all of Zero's attacks. and hit his feet.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I know, right? So, but if you, I literally dropped in at Sigma, used like a 1/3 full E tank. Oh no, sorry, killed his first form, used a 1/3 full E tank, and did the fucking uppercut and one shot at his little wireframe head.
Nice.
I was like,
Yeah, I,
eat it, bitch.
I knew there had to be something like that in
Yep.
this one, but I just was like, if I can't find it, because I went through those levels a lot trying to find all the heart pieces and stuff. I was like, if I don't find it, I'll find it later. So I'm
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get it on the next run. It's the same as
Yeah,
like the Hadouken. I always get it in X, but I never really use it. I just get it
yeah.
because I'm that freak who wants to get everything. So
No, of course. It's a lot more situational because the Hadouken, you can hit everybody on the ground. That one's an up and it's a diagonal up.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like you have to be the right boss or hit him at the right angle. And
I gotta sorry,
pretty
just
much
on that note too. You mentioned that you died a lot trying to get that. You know the part that might have
about
killed
4
me
or
the
5
most in
times.
this game, outside of getting crushed between those fucking walls,
Yeah.
was there's a part. It's in one of the first of the final levels, and it's not even that hard. I don't know why it kept killing me. There's a part you're underwater, and there's spikes on the floor and the ceiling, and there's those like I don't know what you'd call them. Those like cylinder things with the little propellers underneath, like the jet propulsion.
Yeah.
And you need to kind of stick to them and use them to like kind of glide across the spikes, but you're sliding down them and then you kind of dash through. I don't know what I'm talking about. I died in there so many fucking times.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the little jets that go up and down. I remember that segment. Yeah. It's a bitch because you have to like you said, like hug the side of it while it's, to move to the one other sections. Yeah.
Just jumping off
It's
of it
tight.
and doing a dash is very tight.
It's very
And-
movement heavy final levels.
Yeah. I fucking died so many times in there. And that, unlike the walls crushing me, there was no one up waiting for me on the other side of that one. And
No, not at all.
and I was dying and dying. And it was like, I mean, I think it's pretty well documented over all the years that I get a little bit wound up at games sometimes.
Oh.
And I was getting so wound up in this, but I was like, I'm not blaming the game at all. It's so obvious what I need to do. And I can't even imagine the number of hours of my life I've spent playing Mega Man. And I'm like, why can't I do this? It's like I was trying to parallel park. And it's like, after 25 years of parallel parking, I should be able to park. And I could not
Yes.
get that fucking swing to work. And I was like, come on. God damn.
We've all been there. Like, I
Yeah.
know I can park this fucking car.
Yeah, dude, just lately, Shaylee's pointed it out to me. Parallel parking, I consider myself I'm in the top 20% of the world parallel parking. I'm a pretty good parallel parker. But for
That's
some
fair.
reason, the last 2 years, my ability to just you're just driving through a mall parking lot and you see a parking space and you just turn to the right and just drive in head first. My ability to just drive into a parking space has completely left me. Like, I've become a horrible fucking parker. I'm that guy that's on the line and I need to back out and I don't know what has happened to me. Shaylee makes fun of me. She's like, we'll get somewhere. And she's like, do you want me to park? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I can fucking park. and I can't. And I don't know why. I suck.
Dude, no, I get it. I'm horrible at it. It's not even like I drive big vans for my job, and that's can't even be my excuse because I do it in my little car. And I'm like, I'll do it. I'm like, this isn't right. And I'll like back up, and I like multiple times.
Yeah,
we're all old here, dude.
It's fucking brutal. And I'm like, it's nice. I feel like I'm learning to drive again. Like I'm slow and steady and pulling in, and I'm like, fuck. Anyway, okay, good point. Yeah, so I did not get it, but I will on a future playthrough. And then was there something else that you wanted that we haven't touched on yet?
No, I think that's it. I think we're
all
good.
Right. Really good game, man. Worthy successor to one of my absolute most treasured video games in the history of my life. Really, really good. And I now that I've played 1, 2, and 3, like I mean, I'm telling y'all right now, like all 11 Mega Man games are getting episodes at some point, and I would love to cover all the X games at least. I do really want to see what the story is with 4. I'm pretty nervous about going down the dark alley that is the later half of the X games, but I really want to see what's up with X4 now, at least.
Dude,
so
I can't wait. 4 is one I really want you to experience because 4 is like the best of those. And then you get to like 6 and you're like, the game is just literally just pumping your ass so fucking hard. And like, what is happening? How did this game get so fucking hard?
It's fucking,
what did you do?
It makes me like, because I'm sure you're in the same boat as I am. Like, of course I still want, like, if they announced Mega Man 12 tomorrow, I would be so happy. But more than Mega Man 12, like I want a new Mega Man X. But
Yes, please.
but if we're gonna get one, like Mega Man, Mega Man 9 is one of the greatest gifts Capcom's ever given humanity. Because it's a throwback to the NES ones. Mega Man 10 is another
Yeah.
throwback. Very good. I really liked Mega Man 11. I was nervous when I saw it, but then when I played it, I quite liked. Like Mega Man 11 is a top 5 Mega Man game for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll ask you this. What do you want them to do if they make it? Because it'd be X9, I think would be the next one. Do you want them to go back to like the 16-bit? Do you want them to go X4? Do you want them to try to make a new 3D one? Like if they were like, Dan, you're in charge. Like, what do you do with a new X game?
Listen, I haven't played it, but I have been watching it, keeping an eye on it. Now I can't remember the name of the fucking game. Fuck! I'll word this differently. I was like, I know, dude. I was like thinking of this thing.
That was such
so here's what I wanted to do.
That was remember the game. You fit in here perfectly.
Dude, literally, I do that all the time. I'm like, dude, I have this great idea. And I'll get 2 or 3 words in and my brain's like, see ya.
It's like, oh, fuck.
Good.
No, I was going to say, have you ever gone to Google something and in the time it takes you to open Google, you forget what you were going to Google?
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot. And I feel so stupid. Fuck.
It's not the same thing, but I was thinking of the Simpsons episode where Homer runs into Flanders at the cider thing, and he's trying to explain the difference between apple juice and apple cider. His brain just leaves.
His brain just floats away.
Collapse. Yeah, that's me.
Fuck.
So I would want them to do, if they're going to do, ideally, I want them to do it like an original 16-bit style. It doesn't have to be the exact same graphics, but like a Super Nintendo style Mega Man game. Whatever they ultimately do, if it even happens, for the love of God, do not make a fully 3D Mega Man game.
Agreed.
I have played Mega Man X, or Mega Man X. They could probably make it work. Somebody could. But I played Mega Man X7, and that game is not good.
Yeah.
And I will die on that fucking hill.
I agree. I agree.
But there is a really good fan-made Mega Man game. I cannot think of it. It's Mega Man X something, and it has some banging ass fucking fan-made music. It's beautifully made. It's like the old Super Nintendo games, but better. And I'd hire that motherfucker to make a Mega Man
Dive? X Dive?
Not X Dive. That's actually the official game.
Okay. I haven't played that one, so...
I need to play the offline one, because I know it's a mobile one, but there's like an offline mode. Dude, they've got like a shit ton of really deep cut remix music. They've got like remixes of like music from the Mega Man 5 Game Boy game. They've got the ones from the Mega Man 2 Game Boy game that had a unique soundtrack. Like really deep cuts on music that they reused for it.
That's sick. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'd want done.
I think, like, I agree, no 3D. Like, I'm fine with a 3D Mega Man, but if we're gonna do that, let's just get Mega Man Legends 3. Like, I don't need X in 3D. I'm torn. Most of me wants just a 16-bit Super Nintendo style X game. I wouldn't be opposed to. I'd love to see what they could do with Mega Man 11's art style with X. Like with the more because like X has always just seemed a little bit more mature, a little bit more gritty. Like the Robot Masters, everyone just I'd love to see what they could do with something like that. But yeah, if you were to give me the pen and say like whatever you want, I'm going back to I'm giving us the Mega Man 9 of X games, like just a traditional back to basics. Or I've always said I'd love to see a crossover where maybe Mega Man comes to X's world and X goes to Mega Man's world, or
That'd
something like that. But
it did happen. It does happen in Mega Man X8. You can fight Cutman.
Really?
Yeah, dead serious.
Cutman's my guy. That's my favorite one. I'm gonna have to fuck. I gotta. Well, I try to. Fuck.
I don't want to spoil everything from you. This is like I've seen the clips. I've seen people do it. But yeah. There's some interesting shit in some of the later Mega Man X games.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I'm always spacing out. I try to space out the Mega Man reviews because I know. I gotta say, I'm not mad at any of you that don't love Mega Man and these reviews, but I am just a little disappointed in you. And Dan's
that's why your mom doesn't fucking love you.
That's true. My mom doesn't love me because of the fucking fits I would throw playing Mega Man, but I digress. So I feel like an origin of my gamer rage is Mega Man, but same. I try to space these out, but I also know there's a big portion of our community that love these games. And I want to just say, I love all of you that love these games. Mark my words, unless I fucking die or something, before Remember the Game is done, all 11 Mega Mans and all 8 X's at least, and probably Legends 2 are getting episodes. After that, we'll see. but they are all getting
Sweet.
episodes because Mega Man is the shit. Dan, appreciate you taking time out of your Saturday to do this. And you don't just do my show. Where else do you talk about things?
Oh, I am actually one of the co-hosts along with my wife and then Mr. Parker. We do Dissect That Film, which you mentioned at the top of the show. We are not a movie review show. We dissect films. We talk about them. Generally, Parker is the lead. He kind of carries us through. My wife's the straight person, and I just make wildly inappropriate comments and try to piss off our audience if I can and see what I can get cut out of the episode, which has happened on many occasions. Gunning for those 1-star reviews, baby. But we just talk about movies and have a really good time, and I make really obscure references that we just go off track and talk about random shit sometimes. But that's our primary thing. I do have another podcast I dabble in. I'm reworking it right now. It's for Magic the Gathering. It's called Man of Worm. It's out there if you want to find it, but I'm doing some touches. Before we close the show, I do have a very funny anecdote about this show I want to say, though. But that's what I do.
I love it. And assuming that I have been sent them, there's links in the description of this show, so check them out. Tell them Remember the Game sent you. Giver, wrap it up. Oh, wait, we got to score. Sorry, we got to score it. I almost forgot. Oh, that would have been bad. We got to score it.
I was trying to think of one of these earlier. I couldn't think of one.
Then how about they happen in the year 21XX? So we'll go out of 21.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's do that. Guests honors.
All right, I would give this 19.
That's a good score.
Solid 19.
Good score. I'm going to go... I'm trying to remember. I got to say, I love the passion some people have for the show, but people are like, well, you gave this. I'm like, the minute I say a score, I don't remember. None of it matters. So I don't remember what I gave X, but assuming I gave X like a 9 out of 10-ish because I would have taken off the Super Mario World tax, I'd give this out of 21. I'll give it 18. It's just, it loses the Super Mario World tax and it loses the Mega Man X tax because it's not Mega Man X, but it is very, very good. Really good, really solid sequel. If you like Mega Man X, you got to play X2. I can't believe I don't know why I waited so long. I feel like I fucked up in life. I don't know why it took me so long. I'm an idiot, but good game. Giver, buddy, hit us with your analogy.
So a couple days ago, this is the first time this has ever happened to me. I had a dream about this podcast we're recording right now.
Really?
And the whole thing is I came on to record with you, but you never showed up, and I had to do the whole episode with Mark McHugh. Listen, and he's like, listen, in all legitimacy, I have nothing against Mark, but I'm one of those dudes that's when like I'm an anti-Mark guy. Like when anything comes up like about him not getting to the Hall of Fame, I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. He doesn't belong. I'm that guy.
Right.
But nothing personal against him. I just thought it was just really weird. I've never had a dream about being on a podcast before.
I love it. Well, I want to make it clear that like, we're in the initial drafting stages of Remember the Game Civil War upcoming project where everyone's going to have to decide, are they on the side of me or are they on the side of Mark, who gets in the hall? And it's good to know that like you're the Spider-Man to my Iron Man. You'll be on my side in the trenches when shit hits the fan. So
I'll take that. I'll take a bullet or 12 for you.
Yeah. If it means keeping Mark out of that hall, like I will not disrespect Molly's legacy by letting Mark into that Hall of Fame.
Damn right.
Dan, always a fucking pleasure, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this. And I'm telling you, expect more Mega Man with Dan down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is going to do it for this week's episode. Dan, thank you so much for giving me a call and talking some Mega Man X2 and every single one. I don't know why I said it like that. It was terrible. X2 and every single one of you nerds listen to this, whether this was your first Remember the Game, your 337th, maybe your 269th, whatever number it was. Thank you. I appreciate you. I know there's a lot of retro gaming shows out there and that you're rolling the dice on us. Warms my icy cold heart. Check out Dan's other wheelings and dealings. You can find them in the link of this podcast or the description of this podcast, assuming he remembered to send me links and I remember to put them in there. And hope you're all enjoying your Switch 2s. I hope they're not breaking on anybody, as we joked about earlier. I hope they're working well and appreciate your patience while I've been away. I don't know if there'll be a Remember the Game next week. I'm hoping to get one in, but it's going to depend on how quickly we can turn one around after I get back from our vacation. Worst case is I'll dip into our expansion pass archives to cover off June 25th, and then we'll get a new episode up to kick off July instead. So I might just do it in a reverse order, but no worries. We'll be back next Wednesday talking about something. I'm going to thank some patrons and get out of here. Thank you all so much for listening. Leave us a good review if you didn't hate it, and I'll talk to you on the next one, all right? Cheers, so long, goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, I am contractually obligated to say their names as quickly as possible. So as of Sunday, May 25th at 1:10 p.m. Mountain Time, a huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer, Slick Motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Mellow Magic Money, Sharonic, J Nasty 15, Jort King Keegs, Dan of Dissect That Film, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Eldest Millennial, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Tips, Dave Tits. Angry Tits are the worst hits. Angry Ticks. Not nearly as ticks that are angry would be fucked up too. But Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, A-Town Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang, Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squint, Steen Donian, Titan 420, Zonko 504, Jeff Bergeron, Daniel, John Woodruff, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, Tiffany, Heather, Cody, Dylan, Dermot, Jordan, Taylor, Brittany, Wesley, Rumor, Scout, Cassidy, Zoe, Chloe, Max, Hunter, Kendall, Caitlin, Noah, Sass, Holb, Zach Shepard, Captain Black Silver, 333, Chugger 22, Elijah Burns, It's That Nerd, James, Madam Nutsitch, DBXJ, Steve Dulk, Standard Ass Brian, Dude, Where's My Game, Mizuru, Juris Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Jake Carter, Laces Out Dan, Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babineau, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who is not a Surgeon Rowe, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Hagel Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Timothy Oroku Saki's Gardner, Cody Richardson, General Fury, I use small words to help Adam say it more good, Max Lagroom, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Mr. Arkansas, Drugs Bad, okay, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter, Nerdy Hybrid, Sleeper Hits, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Wimp of Stupid Stooges, TTRPG, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, T-Bear 87, I'm sure Adam will play Bowser's Fury, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monstrous the Boner, A.B. Killen works for me, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R, Richie Nutsuru, please refrain from tasting the knob, Scotty J, Just Car Pranks, Zombie Exy, Bartman Forever, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Adam Arnett, The Big Deal, Ryan Donahue, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee Wee Squitters, Nordak, Leroy Jenkins, Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because19, Infinity Rage, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Longrod, Von Hugendom II, Roger Staubach's Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Max Sandin, Sour Goatface, Alex Ramos, Faded Sufferance, Benjamin Atkins, Kyber Fiber Zombie, Chris Hill isn't scared, that could be anyone's ass. B Money, Penguin Milk, Fallen Snow Kiku, The Supreme Chozo Rizzo, you son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Shoeboxers, Adam Blake still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Air, Sabin, Brian Richmond, Blobbert Rogers, Bula, Matt Zeus, Too Much Karma, Plow King, Cesar, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Cody Thompson, Kevin Kellums, Pullerton Age, Chaz Hammond, Mr. Hammond, your taco fell in the deep fryer. That was a bad voice crack. Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, Justin Tate, Daddy Secret Little Chubby, nothing could possibly go wrong. Toby O.P., Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat S, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, generic name 238, Gannon's Magnum Dong. Gross. David Schroeder, Muncal, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Super Jess, Captain Steve N, Ryan Stemmerding, Comebread, Wreck-It Ralphie, Dazerith, Super Cyan, Safarioff, Savage Boosh, The Grim Patron, Big Iver 88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Flater Flav, Captain Asbury Juice, Doogie Bowser MD, Topher Love, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie 425, Akiris Network, Horrorstalgia, a podcast, Jeff Leopard, Game Boy Gannon, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Botfucker, Mikey Hag, Shane's World, Devin Collins, Super Galactus, Exotic Chaotic, Just James, Spooky Dookie, Profound, Frank Preeves, The Okayest of Muffins, and Landon Turquoise. If you had any idea how many fucking podcasts that I've done in the last 96 hours, that's a pretty reasonable batch of shoutouts. And if you didn't like it, well, you're not going to like this. Or maybe you will, because if you didn't like it, you're gonna like that the show is over. But take it easy.